Okay. Hi. Welcome to our online Google Hangout and information session on the Drama School in Mumbai. My name is Jehan Manekshaw. This is Tushar Pandey, one of our faculty, Sodamani, one of our ex-students, Yuki Ilias, my co-convener and lead of pedagogy, and Heer, who's one of our current students in our third batch currently. The way this is going to work is I'm going to pop off screen a couple of times to just check if there's any questions coming in. You can send us questions either on our Facebook page or on this Hangout itself. And otherwise, you can send any questions you want to the Drama School Mumbai's WhatsApp group on the DSM public line. All the information is given below. Or you can tweet us, and we're looking at all of that over there. Otherwise, we are just going to talk to you about the drama school because this is being live recorded as well, so that it will just stay up live on YouTube for anyone who wants to know more things. So welcome, and thank you for joining us. The drama school is basically something that we founded 3 years ago. It's founded by the organization Theatre Professionals, which was founded in 2008. It's designed to basically create and forge a new generation of theatre makers, which is something that we feel is needed very much in the country today. We have done multiple workshops in the past here in Mumbai. We started with 6-day workshops in 2008 with lots of masters coming down from across the country and across the world for the existing acting community. But as we did longer and longer workshops, we realized that actually what was needed is a school where foundations could be laid for a lifelong career in theatre making. When we say theatre making, we're talking about acting, creation, and also the aspect of entrepreneurship, where you have to go out and be the entrepreneurs for your own performance career. And that's the world that the drama school exists in here in India, specifically here in Mumbai. So that's the basic overview of what we're saying. Why the DSM is the first thing that I wanted to speak about, and the idea is to create a space where there is a community of theatre makers who are all the faculty, and to work with one generation after another of new theatre makers coming in who want to become professional career actors and directors and even designers. And the whole idea is that when they graduate, they come and join us in our community of people who work. We believe in rigor, focus, and commitment to a professional work ethic. And we also believe in a large amount of that you're going to be learning for the rest of your life. So most importantly, whilst you're here, to cultivate a sense of the skills and the aspects required for lifelong learning. That's the first bit I'm just sharing as an overview. Yeah. We can talk to you about, so I just go to one check. Sound coming through? Okay. Okay, check. Your body. Yeah, I know. Okay. So, yeah. Hi. Sorry again. Okay. So why don't we start with talking to, so we're also located here in Mumbai in Charni Road. That's behind Saifi Hospital down in South Mumbai. We're in the heart of the city. You've got all of the museums, the galleries, the NCPA and various theaters down in the south of us. And this is the place where any student who's joining us will be spending pretty much a year of their life. I'm going to maybe now start by handing it over to Yuki, and she can talk about the one-year certificate course and give you a basic overview of how that works and what the structure is through the year. Yeah.
Should I put it forward?
Sure. And project into the mic.
Okay.
As you can see, we like to do live work, so this is interesting for us.
So I'm going to go through the outline of the school year, what it looks like, possibly like a day in the school. What does that look like? You start in the morning, first thing at 7:45 in the morning, and that's where all the students come together and they have they prepare, they warm up, and they have a little tuning into each other for about 10 minutes so that the ensemble is ready. The first class usually is a speech or voice conditioning class. So we break down all our learning into voice, speech, movement, improv and devising, scene study, research and praxis, script readings, as well as a section which is called the theatre making laboratory. Now I'll go through each one by one. In the voice conditioning classes, you will have singing, you will have voice conditioning where you will understand what is this instrument of yours with your body that will prepare you for sound and tone and the power of the voice. Then you have speech, which is more complex than sound and it integrates text as well. You have movement as a big strand. In movement, you have again conditioning where you have fitness classes, you have culinary classes, you have a combination of yoga, and then you move on to movement where you are studying movement with the application for scene work. So again, it's actor preparation. The body of the actor is prepared through techniques like Laban. We use a lot of Lecoq techniques forms as well to apply for the actor's body in a scene. After movement, we have improvisation. So again, it's a fundamental learning for students. We teach you the skills and tools of how to improvise for creating scenes, for creating your characters, to understand the dynamics really of relationships, space, anything you throw in, relationships, space, and the idea of storytelling. We have a section called scene study, where you are led through a series of texts with teachers who are also directors, and they give you the skill set to approach a scene on the floor and what it takes to build a scene, again based on improvisation, based on text analysis and acting practices. We have a whole unit on devising, and this is something that we bring to schools here, where we're trying to create actors who can also create their own work from scratch. So what we do is we give you the skills to devise your theatre. And all of this is applied by the students in a section called the Theatre Making Laboratory, where students get a chance to put all the skills that they're learning every single week into practice to make their own theatre for the week. So we give you a theme at the start of the week, and we ask you to apply what you're learning, and then we watch it at the end of the week, and we give feedback. And the students take feedback, and they come back a week later again with changes, improvements, or just a reworking of the whole piece that they were really working on. And that's the theatre making laboratory. There's also research and praxis and producing and entrepreneurship, which Jehan will take you through.
So just so you know that there's also on the side of your Google Hangout directly to the website under the one-year certificate course. First of all, just Google the Drama School Mumbai, Google the one-year certificate course, or just go to the website and you'll find that there's the entire course structure that's written out in detail in one of the pages over there. With respect to research and praxis, there's an idea of like, one is to learn to be a performer, one is to learn to be a theatre maker, just in terms of your own practice. But the other is to understand what it is in terms of you existing as a creator of work or as a maker of work in the context of theatre, in the context of what is going on around us. So we have in the research and praxis module, we have a number of things. We have, for example, just the act of like written communication, how you're going to become a better articulator of your thoughts. So we do it through written communication and written communication exercises that start at the top of the year and go through the whole year on different assignments, starting with a self-reflection journal and a working journal, and then moving on to how you take notes from a theatre director, how you be self-aware of exactly what you're trying to do, And then in the written communication, that then continues to go into things like how are you going to write a research paper, how are you going to do a presentation or a pitch in case you have an idea that you want to share to potential sponsors or potential people who are going to back you or give you an idea for a theatre company that you're starting. And and this is all through the act of writing. These assignments are given as a written assignment. The second one is a context for theatre, which is divided into two parts. The first part happens across the first semester where the students are made to read plays, but in guided readings with people, with playwrights and theatre critics, who then share with them an idea of what is happening, where that play existed, why it was written, what was the world in which the play started to exist in the first place. In terms of the second aspect of that is in the second semester, they actually embark on researching a living theatre practitioner. I'll just think of some names this year. He is currently doing that course and he's in the middle of it. What are the names of some of the people you're researching?
Mohit Tapalkar is one of them. He's a director based in Pune. He has his own theatre company.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's been working in Mumbai as well as in Bangalore. And
This is who you're researching?
No, this is one of my classmates.
What other names have come up?
I'm researching on Balu. He's a canteen person at Shivaji Mandir, Dadar, and he's been there for 40 years. So he knows a lot about theatre, not just like his own work, but the actors. He knows them in and out, and what he has to serve them, and how they make their tea. And it's really interesting to know all these things just by talking to them.
Obviously, we're giving you this broad overview, but then when I immediately talk to you, you get a complete sense. We're not just looking at the theatre practitioners, but the people around the world. So Balu, the canteen at Shivaji Mandir, is somebody. This is all guided by Ramu Ramanathan, and the whole idea is to really get a 360-degree view, perspectives, multiple perspectives from different students who are researching different people about the entire world of theatre that currently exists, at least in the Mumbai setup. So this is the whole research aspect, research and practice aspect of the program. We also have producing an entrepreneurship, where students are made to come up with a paper presentation or an idea of a theatre company or a play that they would like to produce, and go through all the questions that they have to in terms of how that would work. And after doing a multiple pitch meetings, kind of like the theatre making laboratory, where they come in and they present a couple of times their ideas of what they think, they get ripped apart and they get sort of challenged to strengthen their ideas completely, so that by the end of it, they have a really strong presentation, and that's actually pitched to an external theatre company, external producer who comes in and looks at the final pitch meeting. So that's producing an entrepreneurship, and that is the research and then wait, yes, that's it. That's the research and practice bit. Yes, also, that's the other thing. I mean, like, we're speaking English today over here, but the faculty and the medium of instruction in the school is both English and Hindi. We work with whoever we get. So even if we have a Marathi speaker, we work with them. And that's been the world so far. And the texts we use are both in English and Hindi. But we also find ways to accommodate if somebody's coming in and needing to work with another text. But predominantly the final, like when we do our work and we do our main play, those tend to be in Hindi. But just to give you a sense of language and what's happened over here is, ultimately we're working on the language of theatre craft, and we'll try and communicate that to you. I don't think that requires a particular language from you. But when you are engaging with text, it is going to give you further challenges. We try and give you some kind of a scaffolding and some kind of a support for that. So if you know people who are speaking in vernacular languages, regional languages, and they're also interested in the course, they should not think about. They should not think about not applying. They should actually not be discouraged. They should come forward. Last year we had a student in the Dragon who had to perform in Hindi, but he actually spoke only English and Malayalam. This year we have 2 Marathi speakers, and they also performed in various roles in Hindi. We work with everyone, so language is not an issue, or we try and work around it. Yeah. So yeah, Tushar also Tushar is the lead of the theatre making laboratory section, but he also last year directed the school play, which happens at the mid-year point. So, and it was, we structured based on our experiences last year, a much more rigorous version for this year, which is what he has experienced. So, Tushar, if you can maybe speak about, how we go about the production, why we do what we do, where we tour it, and what it goes.
Uh, just to add a couple of things before I jump into the production and the second half of the school curriculum, I think one of the key points we're looking at is the idea of how we can be a wholesome, how we can have a wholesome understanding of a performer, which can comprise of understanding and getting stimulus through body or voice, text, and creation. So the idea is never focused on one style, and that's the reason we are looking at practitioners, teachers, faculty who don't only come from one strand of learning, but from different styles of approaches. That is what is comprised when you move into the second half, where students have to apply what they've been studying in a production with the director. Till the first half of the course, which is the first 6 months, students are creating work with the guidance of the teacher, but they're involved, engaged in creating work in an ensemble with their colleague or working by themselves. So by the time they come to the second half, we generally focus the whole craft in a production, which is determined looking at the students, looking at the progress of how they've been working throughout the year with the director, and then we come to a play. For last 3 years, in the first year we had a play in English and Hindi, 2 plays. The next 2 years, and last year we had plays in Hindi. And the idea is always to find this common language, nothing to do with specifically which one language. The idea is where we feel the students can come together and explore something together. And that's why we're also looking at range of directors. We started British directors in the first year. I directed the second year, and this year we had Anirudh, who's from Pune. The idea then is to actually channelize and put them into this rigorous practice of how do you create one big journey of play from start to the end, which might be for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and how they can actually experience different audiences, feedback, travel to different places, see what they learn and how they're applying it works with different audiences in different areas, places. So the journey is always an idea of giving them wholesome experience and not just creating one way, but actually finding all the different dynamics of how one can come through experience and understand changes in them. So we go have at least 10 to 15 performances in a year. And as faculties, we do see a change in the first and the last performance because they've gone through places like Bangalore, last year Pondicherry, Neenasam, Pune, different venues in Bombay. So we're not just focusing on the craft of performance, but also on the idea of how you can learn and engage yourself with people, environment, spaces, what are the stimulus one can create and get, and then experience an idea of who the creator is. And so again, as I'm saying, the stimulus is not always an idea to create on perform on stage, but it's an idea of how you can experience things, people, life, environment, and then engage with something that's inside you and find a voice, what you say. So the culmination of the course also happens by personal projects, which is when they've gone through a journey of first 6 months, they're exploring different styles, approaches with teachers. They move into production with the director and tour around the country, and then they have all their other projects like on entrepreneurship and presenting and producing work. Then is the time when they come to their final project, which is completely owned by the student themselves. So it's always an idea of what do they want to say. Could be an idea they want to create, could be a text they want to work on, but it's solely owned by the student themselves. So as faculty, we do give them a guidance. We have a mentor for each student who works closely and get ideas from the mentor and work with them. But the idea is you are ready by the end of the year to actually create something and say it's yours. So the journey the whole year actually comes to full circle where you started with working with everyone, working with a director, understanding what it means to be on the other side of creating, that is producing, seeing what can be done, and then actually owning the whole piece and by saying this is my piece. So usually students end up creating the final piece, they go out and they work on it more and engage and make an hour-long show, travel with their own pieces. So the idea is always to give a wholesome experience of a theatre creating world and not just an actor. We're not here to create actors, we're here to create creators who know all the aspects in and out as much as we can give in a year to come out and experience. And so we also have students who move forward, move to different schools because they understood by the time they finish the year that they want to specialize in one style, they want to focus on something. So we have a couple of students from our ex-students who in other schools, they understood why they want to do theatre and what kind of theatre would they really want to engage in, and then how they can specialize in something they find is very they're engaged with. So we have.
Yeah.
You want to
So,
move forward? to that?
yeah, so we've got a question in. Yay, I'm really glad that people out there listening to the Hangout. So this is from Kanchan. She says, I want to know, is this purely technique learnings in like a classroom type of environment, or will we be applying it after learning? So I'm actually going to open this to two people and mediate this first. Dheer, who is the current student right now, and he'll tell you that it's not like classroom type learning, and how this let first we'll have Jimmy talk about the relationship between learning and application, and then we can then maybe segue to Saudamani talking about the relationship of how it becomes application. So thank you very much for your question, Kansan.
Yeah, I don't think it's just the technique. We get to apply it obviously because every Saturday we perform in front of our faculty and a couple of other invitees who come and watch us from the theatre world. And I mean, we apply all those techniques, and then I mean, we've given a set of rules or like some like whatever classes we learn, and whatever we learn, we apply it in the TMLs, that is the theatre making lab. And basically, it's what we learn throughout the week, and then we go on and apply it on the weekend, and then we keep going on. If we do bad, and I mean, usually it happens that we do make mistakes, and that's fine. We have to go again, and then we keep improving on that. So it's a nice thing that sometimes when we think we've not covered it entirely and we could do so much more, it's nice that the faculty says that go repeat it again, so that we sort of like polish it and come back again, and like then they appreciate it as well, and sometimes we go again as well. So we do apply the techniques that we are taught. It's not just like we keep learning them and it's just a bang.
And how does the application then go forward into the future? So Damini will also speak a little bit on. Yeah, sorry. So Damini will. Sorry, we're just getting used to this. So Damini will also speak a little bit on the idea of where some of our classmates are maybe like what different kinds of things that they're doing, but also we're also very interested to know now that she's been out into the world for 2 years after graduating from here, where she is and how the learning has helped her or not helped her. So Damini, it's all yours.
Before I jump into talking about life after drama school, I'd also clarify about the question, the response to the question. Besides the TMLs, also in the classroom, the learning is not purely, your classroom setup, which is just technical. We do, I mean, the exercises and the different modules are all about doing and about application. So of course, when we're doing modules like, anything related to movement or any module for that matter, there's a lot of doing and learning by doing that is happening in the classrooms as opposed to sitting and listening or just watching. So the whole week at the drama school is actually not anything like a typical classroom setup. About life after drama school, I think the one key thing that I think it would have maybe taken me very long to get to if not for drama school, or maybe not at all, is the aspect of being aware and of understanding what what is good for me, or what is bad. And good and bad are maybe not the right terms, but what works for me and what doesn't in theatre as a watcher of it, as a performer, as someone who's creating, writing, whatever it is that you're doing as part of theatre, to kind of give you a sense of the different kinds that are out there, and what is the kind that speaks to you, or what are the multiple kinds of theatre of telling a story that speak to you. And being able to watch something or make something and assess for yourself if you have put in all of your effort and all of your 100% into it, and are you doing what you want to do? Otherwise, it can get very, yes, I want to act and yes, I want to direct, but what exactly is good theater? What am I doing? What am I aiming for? It's not that the drama school tells you what it is that you should be aiming for, but through the process of the drama school, you realize it yourself. You kind of explore for yourself what are the things that really, really appeal to you. What are the best ways for you to tell your individual vision and your individual story? So that was one of the key things, which is a simple, fundamental thing that any good drama school should give you, and I got it from my education at the drama school. Yeah, besides that, all of my batchmates from the first year of the drama school have gone on to work in theatre in some way or the other, whether they're writing for theatre or most of them are performers, and there are people who are directing, making their own work. Me and a couple of my batchmates from drama school have created a company of our own, and we're doing the kind of work that we like to put out there and the kind of things that we want to talk about. So we're doing that here in Bombay itself. There's a student who's studying he's doing an MFA at California in the Latte School of Physical Theatre, and because that's what he found was the journey for him. So everybody's kind of another student who went to the drama center in UK. There are people who are Tanvi, who is who's won an Inlax India Theatre bursary for studying clown. So everyone's kind of found their own skill that they really. It's not that this is going to be the thing that they're going to do for the rest of their life either, but there's some starting points or some germs of something, some direction that they want to go in, or some styles that they want to try out have been introduced to them at the drama school, which they were then able to take forward in different ways. And the faculty at the drama school is also really helpful in helping you and guiding you through. So what I'm trying to say is that the association has not ended after drama school. It's not like, okay, you graduated, now we're on to the next batch. We are very much welcome here. We come to the faculty for advice all the time. We work with the faculty. I work with Yuki and bunch of other of my batchmates are working with other faculty members, and they can help us with our work. They come and watch our work even after drama school, and they give us feedback. Come for our shows, so that's good. But yeah, so it's an association, and it's good to be in Mumbai and know that there are now that 2 batches have already graduated and these guys are also going to graduate soon. It's good to know that there is a network of us now who kind of share the same vocabulary, kind of share the same passion for working and the same ethic. So we can kind of reach out to each other, help each other, discuss, and be each other's sounding board. So in that way, I think drama school has also been really useful for us, and all of us constantly learn from each other's work and stay in touch with each other. So those are like broadly the.
Just want to add one thing that a lot of our schools have not just stayed in Mumbai but have moved back to their state and they've worked
Right.
few of them are in Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi.
Right, right.
So it's not that the concentration is always in people end up in Bombay.
Yeah.
It's a place where and for last year we've got students from all around the country. So it's a great thing that we haven't got students from just Mumbai, but we have students from different parts of the country, and they have moved back. So there is a network that's happening in Chennai, Bangalore,
Right.
And the other thing that I just wanted to add, which is really interesting, is we're just looking at a number of projects that have even started by faculty who have then used a lot of ex-drama school students. One of them is currently touring called 777, which is just went to the Meta, that's the Mahindra Excellence in Theatre Awards, and won an award for Best Ensemble Work. So I think that's a really good thing for us, because we like to think that we can teach that. More importantly, though, the USP in terms of who the faculty are, and this is really key, is that they're all working theatre makers. It's not that they've just come to study. Oh, thank you. It's not that they've just come trained and they're just professional teachers. Nothing like that. They theatre makers. They all go out and work. Apart from one or two people like me, who's here pretty much full time at the drama school, everyone is out there creating. In the first year, when Gitanjali Kulkarni, when my co-founder was teaching, she was also acting in the film Court. Yuki has been making work non-stop and has pretty much one of my personal favorite theatre companies in the country. And I'm not saying that because I like her. I actually enjoy what they do in terms of just the work ethic and the kind of work that they're making. And everyone is making work and collaborating with each other. And in fact, a lot of faculty keep texting me to say, can we start using the existing batch right now before they graduate? And I'm like, no, you cannot. They have to finish their work, stay focused, and then after the 30th of June, they're all yours for the rest of their lives. And that's exactly what happens. So we're really happy about that. Yeah. Then beyond that, just everything is on the website, how you can apply, the fees and scholarship information, and I'll tell you about that. The application process is very simple. You send in a complete CV and a cover letter answering the questions that are given in the application form in terms of where you see yourself, your theatre practice, what you want to be doing. And we don't expect that you have all the answers. We want to see how you think. But we also want to see how much experience you've had so far. And even if you haven't had experience, it doesn't matter. We look at people who are ready to work with us and ready to learn. And we can see a potential where if they were to join the school, we know that we could take them on a learning journey. So it's not specific that you have to have like 16 plays under your belt or anything else. We also ask that the students are all at least a bachelor's level qualification before they come to the drama school. Or if they don't have a bachelor's degree, then they are actually coming to us at an age where they have an equivalent amount of life experience. The idea is that we want you to also be people who have a certain level of maturity. So not straight out of 10th grade, not first year junior college or 11th grade, or we want you to have at least finished your BA or had 4 years after school in terms of what you're doing in life. So you have a better understanding of yourself with which to embark on what is a very rigorous journey.
Yeah. Is the kind of rigorous days that they are.
Yeah.
And two is maybe they can do that and check up on faculty list that we have. We have an extraordinary faculty.
We have an amazing faculty list. I'm just going to show it to you over here. But you can take a screenshot of that. Or I'm kidding. Go to the website. They're all listed out there. And if you want to know more about them, you can always email in to us. Let's talk about so in terms of what we assess in the application process, and then I'll come back to that. So then after you write in your application, you also have 2 reference letters, your cover letter, your CV, so that we get a sense of you as much as we can of who you are as a person at this point in your life. Then you come in for an audition, and in the audition there's you do 2 small pieces in preferably in 2 languages, because we want to know, we are living in a multilingual society, so we want to know what your language strengths are. And then you do a group audition piece with the other applicants of the year. And then we are handed over a batch of 13 to 16 students for the year's journey. And we let you, the application deadline for the paper applications is the 30th of April, and then the auditions will happen in mid-May. And you'll know by the 30th of May whether you're in or out. We hope you're all in. Then we start with you on the 4th of July, which is when the course starts, and the course runs till the 12th of June of 2017. In terms of what we see in the audition pieces, we just want to know if we can work with you. So you come in with a learned piece of text. You may be presented in terms of how you had an interpretation of it, but then we will direct you in it. We will try and work with you. We will see how you can move and shift your ideas of what you were performing, so that we can just play. And the main thing is to understand play and to see how hard you will work at it. The other thing we look at is for a certain level of physical fitness, stamina, or readiness to become a very physically fit person, and just an openness. And I think that's the most important thing to us. With respect to this rigor and why the fitness is important, I think we should let Dheer, who's currently experiencing the Drama School Mumbai, share what the expectations we have in terms of the students are, in terms of their ready, in terms of this whole idea of what do we say when we mean being ready to work?
I mean, there are a set of rules I want to talk about, like coming on time and a few rules like not working outside of school. They are nice because at when you start here, you feel like you could do a lot of other things at the same time that you're not allowed to do here. But then if you like get involved in the course and do what is asked for you to do, you don't really it doesn't matter because you don't really want to work outside because there's so much work happening here and there's so much to learn from the faculty and whatever they provide us. And if we just get involved in that, there's a different lifestyle. You start getting up on time, and because of that, there's a lot of change in your body. And I mean, one of the things that the school has taught me is the body is an instrument for us, and that was something really new for me at that point. But now I understand it completely because as performers or as creators, you need to understand yourselves and yoga classes and body conditioning, all of that has really helped us. And at the start, it used to drain us out, and we used to sort of try to figure it out that is it really required. But then, as the 2 3 weeks that went on, I felt much better getting up on time and just relaxing in those classes, breathing, and all of those things really helped me on stage. And it just builds up a whole new confidence when you like come on stage and you're fresh. And yeah.
When you talk about learning from the faculty, what about learning from what's your relationship with the students you work with? Because are they all from the same background as you?
Oh no, yeah, I wanted to talk about Ram and Sagar especially because they come from Vada, and the first month I remember they don't speak, they were not able to speak in Hindi or in English, and all of us were pretty much comfortable only in those two languages. And but as the school went on, the faculty was much more welcoming, and everyone was flexible in talking in Hindi or Marathi to explain them. And then they started getting involved much like more, and now we see a change in them. Like earlier they used to think like what I don't think I can come here and work in Bombay. People speak in Hindi, people speak in English, and it's going to be a hard time for us. But now they are very excited. They they know that they can work in Bombay. It's not like they're restricted to Marathi or Hindi or English. They've actually started speaking in English and Hindi. Their Hindi is brilliant. Like they've achieved a really good standard in Hindi, and like they're just more open to the ideas. I mean, they used to be like to like talk to us. They used to be a little scared at first. That's what they used to tell us, and now they just share the ideas they have. They write things, and it's just a nice environment because everyone's creating. Everyone except outside of school also uh, when we work like after school hours we're working, and everyone is sharing their own ideas. Like okay, I'm gonna do this after a week. I'm gonna sort of think. I'm thinking of performing this. Maybe after a year, I'm gonna put up this, and this is how I plan. I want you to work in my idea. It's just a nice environment. Like everyone's planning their future before the course ends. So.
Okay. Nice. Great.
It's not clear to people who want to apply about how rigorous this field is.
That's what I mean. Like I think my question to you is when we talk about ready to work before you step into say a class of UPs or a class of Tushars, what is that moment like? What is that expectation of stepping into the room? On an
Before
everyday
your
basis? Like this idea of like the expectation of where you should be when.
How much you bring into the classroom, what in your body, what in your mind.
Yeah, those.
More of the mind, what are we asking of our students? We're saying it's not an easy course. You can't flow through it because we don't let people flow through it.
Yeah.
And, I think just to make it clear, because I think we have noticed there are different kinds of students who apply, and we want to let students know that this is a very hard course. Physically, mentally, it is exhausting. You work many hours a day. You work from something like 8 in the morning to 6, and maybe afterwards as well. So you have to really think if that's the lifestyle you want for a year. And it's not a place where things will ever become easier. In fact, it will always get harder and harder, and the faculty will really push you. So, and we have very high expectations of what attitude you bring to the classroom, what attitude you bring to your own homework, and we expect a standard of work. The results are okay. That's a gray area. We can negotiate through results, and that's why the faculty is here. We're here to help you get results that you want, and we believe in moving forward. But we expect a certain standard of work attitude, and and effort and application. And that's something I think that I mean, we could talk about that because it's not that's not an easy expectation, and we really want students who want to really come to actually feel pushed themselves, to really be in that kind of an environment.
I think maybe a good way to just because we actually want to hear it from your own experience. Maybe you can think of how you, like, where have you been challenged by faculty members in order to overcome something or go through a breakthrough on something in terms of your work. Maybe you can share one of those stories or give us an idea.
Yeah, like for example, one of the scene study classes, we had two people teaching us scene study, two of the faculties. One is Mahesh Dattani sir and one is Sunil sir, Sunil Shanbag sir. And I really struggled in Sunil sir's class because there were times when he was pushing me and I was just not in my head. Like I had to just be present, and there were times that he was like, push more, you need to come in, you need to feel the space. And there was like, Yuki's right, there's a certain level of like work attitude that you need to bring in because Yuki is exactly the way she is right now in class, and she keeps pushing you more because she knows that we can do it, and if she's only pissed when we don't push. It's not that she's not happy about us not getting a certain level of work done, or she compares us, or even Tushar compares us to someone. They don't. They just want us to work more, think on our feet, and like keep pushing more, basically.
That's about it. Thanks so much. Okay. Um, so basically, we encourage applications from everywhere in the country. You can apply in Hindi or in English. Both work for us. But definitely do get your applications in by the 30th of April. The last bit is fees and scholarships. And yes, this is the bit where everyone is going to take a deep breath and go, oh my God, how can I do this? The course fees for the whole year's program, and it's a full-time program, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., pretty much every day of the week except Sundays and sometimes Sundays. And that's for the whole year. And we do the whole organization works on each and every student this entire time. So the fees for this is 3.75 lakhs, and it's a big number. We recognize it. We also know that a lot of people have tried to go to institutions abroad, etc., where the course fees is much higher, and we think that this is a decent alternative in terms of at least making something available somewhere else in terms of how can I go and find formal training in theatre making, because it's only the National School of Drama, which takes 30 people a year, 26 people a year, or it's now the Drama School Mumbai over here and other. There are regional academies, etc. But I think that we've done a large survey of the kind of schools and colleges that exist in India, and we can safely say that we are one of the most rigorous organizations out there.
And there's a reason why we take.
Yeah. And there's the only reason why we only take the 13 to 16 students is because we really want to have that kind of focus. So We also recognize that it's a large amount, and you have to also think about how you're going to live in Bombay, how you're going to pay your just your living bills, and all of that all adds up. So along with the fees and scholarships, there are a number of seats where scholarships are available. The Drama School Mumbai continuously looks for scholarships and funding applications from various organizations. INLACS that Soramni mentioned, Tanvi has been on, is now sponsoring, part sponsoring 2 seats. The Ratan Tata Trust gives a lakh bursary to different students. The Jindals have helped us in the past, and we keep looking. But the idea is apply regardless of fees for now. Just apply. Get in on your merits, and then we will cross the bridge on how we're going to see whether you can do the course or not, and how we can make it work for you. The expectation even there, of course, is we will give you advice. We will try and give you all the resources that we know of, but the work of application has to be done by you. Applying for funding has to be done by you. It is, after all, your career. But do look at all of these details on the website. It's all available. If you have any questions, you can always send emails to info@thedramaschoolmumbai.in, or you can text us at 9619-336-336, which is the contact details, or send us a message on Facebook. Great. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Yeah. Okay. So on behalf of all of us over here and the team over here, thank you and bye-bye.